Hello guys, first off I want to say a massive happy new year and Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope we had an amazing new year and amazing Christmas, and now I'm back doing another podcast for you guys, and it's something I feel can help us out over the new year. New year has happened. It's been a few days since it's happened, but I want to share some things that I've done over the new year to really set me up for the next year to be the best year it can possibly be, and some challenges I've faced and how I've used certain strategies to help overcome them and to move forward in this journey, in this dealing with this neurodiversity, and helping us discover more about ourselves, helping us conquer our dyslexia, helping us overcome all the difficulties we are facing. So guys, I hope we look forward to that, and I hope we're doing all right. I'm excited over the new year. I've written down the plans, what I want to do. I've written down the lessons I've learned, and so I've got some exciting things that I'm ready. I've got a lot of energy coming back to giving you. Okay, hope we get into it, guys. Too big of an intro. So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be, or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast. So, this episode is about how we can really maximize this 2022 and the things we can do over the new year that we can still do now to make us be the best version of ourselves, to make us be able to tackle this year, I always think about this all the time myself, and I think sometimes when I say it, people sometimes get confused or get a bit off track, because basically what I want to say, how we can tackle this year to be the happiest, successful, most successful, have the most energy, have the most loving, caring, be the best person possible we can be this year, and try and improve it the best possible than we could from last year. And a lot of people might be thinking, oh no, yeah, last year has been rubbish, and a lot of it's to do with COVID and all these other external factors. But how I judge a year, how I judge how something has gone, is never to do with the external circumstances. It's always to do with how I dealt with the situations. It's never to do with is a good year, bad year, to do with COVID, to do with government, to do with people around us, to do with this person treated me wrong, this person did this person did that, I got fired from my job, I got this or that. Even though these are massive things that can really deal with us, that can really affect us, like not being able to see our family, not being able to do this, being fired from a job, and all these other things that can affect us massively. But I don't judge it by those external factors that happened. I judge it by how I've dealt with them. And is that at all my fault? Is that at all my fault? I've been fired for a job because some actions I've done. Something happened because of some actions that I've done that I knew better. Because it's not like, oh, I should have booked that flight a few days earlier, because otherwise, because now COVID happened and it's bad, a few days earlier I would have made it, because we didn't know the information. But I'm saying if we failed in this, or if we had a relationship where we act badly, or we had lessons we need to learn from, then we're going to look back and judge ourselves by how well we did. And if it's a good year, we've done the best we can. And I look back at everything. One lesson that I've learned is that we look back at everything and we judge ourselves. We never say we've done badly. We always say, okay, that's how I've acted. How can I learn from that? We never say, if you actually look back in the past, not talking about the last day or so, but I'm talking about in the months and in the months and the years. So, okay, this is me then. What can I learn from that? Because there's no point of beating yourself up for something that's happened in the past. There's no point. It's just about learning it, observing it, learning it, and moving forward. Because what I've learned for my life, if I beat myself up, it can go in a negative spiral. And I think so many of us, especially as dyslexics, we set ourselves a massive high standard, because that's the only way we can get through life, and that's the only way we've been taught through growing up in the education system, that we got to set ourselves a high standard of living, so that moving forward we can actually deal with stuff. Because if our standards average, we'll get below average results, because our brain isn't neurotypical. It's not typically designed to deal with the external environment. Our brain is designed in a unique way that requires a unique perspective, that requires a higher standard to be able to cope. But the beautiful thing with that is, one, that we have a higher standard than everyone else, that makes us respect ourselves more, that makes us be able to accomplish more things, and things that we are like just as good as everyone else. We can work harder and we can do better other people because we're used to working hard. That's called the gift of grit. And number two is that when we have a high standard, and then we can find the things that we're actually good at, find the gifts that we actually are good at, better than average, and we start working on those with the same intensity, the same work ethic that we worked on other things, we'll be amazing at that. So that's like the gifts of, having a high standard, of working hard, and why we shouldn't beat ourselves up on certain things. And I never want to see, I find the passing of time so valuable. And I think loads of us neurodiverse people, we have a very keen understanding of the passing of time. And how, because you see all the people when they get to 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, they see time passes so fast. In a flash, 10 years, or in a flash, this has happened, in a flash, that has happened. You look back and you think, where has it gone? And one thing that scares me more than anything else is wasting the time. Is that looking back in 10, 20 years and thinking, oh, I could have done more. Or thinking, oh, this time here was wasted. Should have done something else. And that scares me more than anything. I want to really take advantage of the time I have. Because I remember back in the UK, I haven't got one here. I should really get one. I'm still out in Thailand. Got a new job called My Gym job. It's called My Gym. It's not working in an actual gym. It's like gym for kids. Quite fun. Anyway, so I'm here I'm still living here in my little apartment in the city now. And I back in the UK, I had this big chart, and it's like all the weeks of my life. And basically I saw this thing on a Facebook ad about it, 30, 40 quid to have a chart with all the weeks of your life, with over a couple, 2,000 or something different, little squares on a big A3 sheet of paper. And every week you would colour your little week out, and that's your week gone. At the end of that, basically you're dead. Basically you're 80, 90 years old. But every single weekend, that's passing of time, and that's when you're dead. And this, you lived this life, and you've got this life left to live, and each week. And some people find it depressing. I find it unbelievably motivating and accurate, because it's telling the truth. This is the truth, and this is the amount of time we got left. And it hopefully should motivate us to action. And it's something that I just personally use and think about. But also this can translate into each year, because I do this on my birthday, and also I do it on New Year's. It's something I learned from Tony Robbins, who kind of set me on this whole journey of doing everything like this. And it's basically asking these 3 fundamental questions, and that can make you look back in the past and capture everything you've learned, all the successes you had, and all what's really important magical moments which I'm going to talk about, and also do the same for the future, so it can kind of set you up for winning. So the 3 massive questions that I asked about the last year, and I spent a long time thinking about these, writing these down, getting clear on these. Actually, before that, I looked at my 2020 year. On 2021, I reviewed 2020, and I looked at that and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I remember all these things. And so basically, there's 3 questions. And you want to answer these in details. First one is that, what are all the magical moments I had last year? What are all the magical moments I had? And magical moments are like moments in time. We can think back and you feel the emotion, something so beautiful, something so amazing. And for me, a couple of them was magical moments. Spending here in Thailand, met some amazing people. One of them was, actually, I remember getting emotional, start crying. I wrote it down. I always do. I'm a soppy person. But about like Hannah. Hannah's my dog that she died at like 15 years old, and I remember getting her when I was like really young, like 5, I think 5 or 6, when I just moved into my house. And sort of grew up with me and sort of like meant so much. And just before I left out for Thailand, we had to get her put down, and I picked that as one of my magical moments. Because for me personally, I never had someone like that, like obviously had grandparents and stuff pass away, but nothing I've ever felt truly close to. And I think people who have pets, like especially ones they grow up with, can really appreciate that. And sort of like, it's something that meant a lot to me. But I think magical moment is something that's meaningful. It's magical because it's meaningful. Death doesn't have to be sad. It's part of life. And I'm sure when something death happens where it's not supposed to, sure, when death happens when it's uncalled for, it's unbelievably tragic and hurts. And it's hard to put into words. But I believe death is a part of life, and once you think of it, something magical about something about their life, that you can celebrate the life they lived instead of mourning the life that we think they lost. Because I remember there's some culture, I forget where somewhere in the world, but there's a culture in the world that when someone dies, they have a massive party. I think they float them off into the sea or a big river, and they celebrate. They celebrate the life they lived, and it's a happy time of remembering the life they lived. Because I think if you look, like, we are all, the culture we grow up in is how we view the world, how things should be. But I think if you take a step back thinking, is there another way to experience this? Is there people doing it differently than us? Because if they do it differently than us, it's just a different way. Like, nothing's wrong. It's like, can we as human beings deal with things differently? And if there's a culture who's been doing it for a long time, and genuinely from the heart doing it and having a different experience, like celebrating when someone dies instead of mourning and feeling really sad and solemn, why not try and adopt that? Why not try to understand that so you can take it in and maybe use some of that for yourself? And anyway, that's what I try to do for that. And I've got a couple other magical things. So that's the first question, off topic here. First question, magical moments. Look back at all the magical moments, you write them down, and also you can make a little slideshow. Maybe you took a photo of something, of the magical moment, or around that time, and create a slideshow of all the magical moments you've had. Because that way you can look back at the past and feel warm, feel loving, and feel like it was meaningful. And of course you had them. They don't have to be big, massive things. These small little things, moments you had with your family, moments you had with your friends. You think you haven't got any, you'll stop lying to yourself. Shirts them. Moment you had with your friends, moment you had with families, work, career, all those. And then magical moments, and then all the lessons you've learned. The lessons you've learned for the time. I remember some lessons I've learned about myself is that one of the big things is that I'm not emotionally stable than I thought I was. I'm a little bit emotionally unstable, and I've got a little, like, you could say with anger, or sometimes when I feel, like I did this before, but I remember I really experienced it now, that I'm a little bit, when I get attached to something, or sometimes I can feel the emotions that it's hard for me to control, my actions, or I just feel trapped, or I feel caged. And it's something I need to look and work on, and eventually try and test myself on. But one thing that I've learned so many other things about myself, about how I can go and treat other people and all this other stuff. Okay? And so all the lessons we've learned, and then all the achievements we've made. So all the successes, all the big achievements we made, write them down, be clear. And after you do it for this year, we'll transfer, like last year, so looking back, we'll do that for the following year. The magical moments you want to have. Because we've got to focus on what we want. Wherever our focus goes, energy flows. So focus on what you want, and we'll eventually, it's kind of like the law of attraction. I think of it law as focus. You focus on something, and you'll see things that will get you towards that goal, and it will happen. So magical moments you want to have. Like with your mum, I remember last year, on 2021, I picked for one thing for 2022, me and my mum to travel to Nepal together and see the sunset. That never happened. But it's something I wanted to happen. But it's fine. It never happened. It's completely fine. I'm in Thailand now and all this other stuff. So you got to want things for magical moments you want to happen, and lessons you want to learn, and achievements you want to make. And we'll get clear on these and really love them. And something that I've also done, because something I think for like us dyslexics, if you really want to, you have to plan if you want to be productive. You have to plan to set things down, because always things are floating in your head all the time, and oftentimes you're just judged by, or your actions are taken by the emotion that you have for the moment. But guys, we want to really, we want to really like set it down. So I do all my year things, and then I did like, okay, when's the next chunk of time? My next chunk of time is like 3.5 months before I travel back to the UK for like a week. And I was like, okay, 3.5 months. And then, so okay, what are my goals in 3.5 months with my dyslexia and stuff? So here's my goals with all this, my dyslexia mission, conquering dyslexia. Here's all my goals. I've got so many things I want to do. And then I go back, okay, into a week. Here's my goals for a week. And actually I kind of set myself a little plan, okay. So there's like 15 weeks, like 3 and a bit months. And I'll try to say, okay, this week I'll achieve this, and this week I'll achieve this, and this week I'll achieve that. And that gives me a clear focus. Now I'm laser focused in everything I want to do, and it makes me so much more happy about everything, and so much more feel like I can do so much more, and it doesn't stress. It's all about set your intentions, do your best, and then review and see how you can make it better. And it's just constantly doing that discipline. Anyway, guys, this has gone a little longer than I've wanted it to. But guys, I hope we have really enjoyed last year, and I hope we can give it our best shot we can for the year following. Guys, hope we conquer our dyslexia. Take care, farewell, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.